You're listening to Orlando Credit Union's On the Money. I'm your host, Kaylee Green, and today I'm joined by Orlando Credit Union's Regional Manager of Retail Operations, Cody Elvin. Hi, Cody.
Hello, hello.
I am so glad that you're here today.
Me too.
You bring the energy here.
I try.
And I think we see that at the branches too. So before we get into our topic today, tell us a little bit about what you do for Orlando Credit Union.
Sure. Well, I wear many hats, but one of the most important roles is overseeing retail operations. So I have 5 teams, so I oversee some of the branches, and I also assist with retail operations on a day-to-day basis.
So you're like really in the thick of it, and you're dealing with the
am.
members that we have, talking to people, trying to resolve issues. And
all of them.
All of that. I think that's such an important part of the credit union, is to be that front-facing person who's having those connections with the member.
Yes.
Because, we're all about investing in you, and I think that especially you and your team really speak to that.
Yes, and I love my role. I think it's definitely something that's new to the organization, but it's kind of fun because we can kind of muddle through and figure everything out as we go. But it's really cool to be on the retail side as well as the operations side. It's kind of like a really good blended mix, and I love it. So
that's awesome. Well,
yeah.
We're really glad that you're a part of the credit union, but
Thanks.
You have a history, obviously, before you got here with us. So talk to us a little bit about your background working in the financial industry.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I actually never thought I'd be in the financial industry. I kind of thought I'd be a doctor, but look how that panned out. So here we are.
Life changes.
Life changes. And yeah, I used to live in Connecticut, and I worked my way up through banking there while going to school part-time for pre-med, and I realized I hated it, and I took a sabbatical from school, and I worked my way up through the banks and ultimately found my way at previously Bank of America, and then that's really where I learned how to be a manager, a good leader, as well as focus on everything that we're trying to do now, which is like the whole pivot to digital. And then when I moved to Orlando, I actually started my own business selling life insurance. So I got to experience the whole, entrepreneurship and really learn how to do stuff like this, as well as really create a captive audience for financial services in general. And then I realized that the life insurance biz was kind of really difficult, especially being in a new area where I've never lived before. Yeah. So I went back to banking and have been at Orlando Credit Union ever since.
And it sounds like you have a really vast, history. That's so important when you're wearing so many hats in your position now.
For sure.
It really carries over,
yes,
I feel like.
Yes, it does.
And you've obviously seen a lot of different changes within the financial industry over the years. We're really gravitating towards more of a digital banking focus right now. So talk to me a little bit about how you've seen digital evolve over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So banking, I've always said, is ever changing. You can never get too comfortable with something because the market's just going to flip and you just have to pivot.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be at Orlando Credit Union right now because we are in that really cool pivoting phase where we're trying to figure out how to bring in additional members and grow our institution, but also do it in a way that's going to focus on different generations and not just what we were previously focusing on. So throughout my career, I really want to say in 2016, 2017 is when I worked at Savings Institute and we got bought out by Berkshire. That's when we had a major pivot to digital. We stopped focusing on in-branch transactions so much, which don't get me wrong, branches are definitely important and we need to have that face-to-face encounter with members and clients. But digital was a primary focus where we were adapting engagement on mobile banking, online banking, as well as use of our digital wallets, all of those cool features. And we're kind of in that stage with Orlando Credit Union right now. So it's kind of cool to be a part of all those projects, get to meet different vendors and figure out what works best for us and our size and all of that fun stuff. So
talk to me about the fact that we are obviously on that younger age range. So we're seeing firsthand the importance of having that digital option. Why is it such a big thing now to make our lives easier?
I've always said it. I think different generations play a big part in how organizations grow. And I think because Orlando Credit Union's been around for so long, we just haven't had, that focus here. With focusing on our generation, I think we were so focused on the older generation and catering to, making sure our transactions in branch were high, making sure we were pulling in membership through the branches. Now it's like, let's be real, if we didn't work at Orlando Credit Union, would we ever set foot in a branch? Probably not. And I say that to my teams all the time.
Yeah.
I go to branch visits and I say, this is realistically the first time I've ever stepped into a branch, and I don't really do any transactions in the branch. I do everything through my phone, and it's all about education. And I think that's where our generation plays a big role in this, is because we're very good about educating our audiences, our members, our team members to think differently. And I think that's where we need to spend a lot more of our energy. And I think that's the big key player in all of this right now.
And you really hit the nail on the head when you were talking about, the fact that we're not stepping foot into a branch, really. I mean, realistically, when I think about it, I cash any kind of check that I've ever gotten by snapping a picture in the app on my phone. Like, that's just how Gen Z and millennials do things now. So,
and also with Orlando Credit Union, we're looking at bringing in different members, right? Looking at businesses, and we need to think, how do those people operate? How do these organizations operate? And let's be real, time is money. And when you send employees to the bank to do all of these things, you're paying somebody to step into the branch. So we're really adapting to that and figuring out ways for people to have that 24/7 banking through their apps, ATMs, ITMs, all that fun stuff.
And I think that one of the keys to like being successful is evolving.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what we're doing here with developing all of these digital products, is evolving to the generation and trying to make sure that we're providing the things that people need in order to, like you said, time is money. So how am I going to do A, B, and C in the shortest amount of time as possible?
Exactly.
And, we have a lot of different products that we offer right now. A lot of people might not necessarily know everything that we have out there. So I want to talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So one of the best statements I ever learned while growing in banking was, people don't know what they don't know, and it's our job to educate them. That's why I always tell people that frontline workers are educators, not salespeople.
I love that.
Yeah, because a lot of people think when they step into a branch, oh, they're going to sell me something. Oh, I have to listen to whatever shtick they have to say. But realistically, people are coming to our branches for services that they don't know that they need, and it's our job to educate them. And right now, with our pivot to digital, we have so many cool things that we can do for people that our members may not even know about. And one of the things that I think is really cool is our ITM. It's a little bit different than an ATM. We have the ability to help people with a teller in branch right through our ATM machine. So obviously it's open during business hours, but it's a great opportunity for people to have that on the go ability to really do transactions in a way that's done in branch, but they don't have to come to the branch.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
What else do we offer as far as transactions, sending money, etc.? What is on the horizon? What are we looking at?
Yes. So one thing that Orlando Credit Union has is a really cool online banking platform. It's really easy to use. We actually have a really great mobile banking app too. You can do everything that you can do in the branch straight through your app. So you can take, as Kaylee mentioned before, you can take a picture of your check and send it right through as a deposit. You can pretty much do everything from transfers, transfer from an account to an account, all of the fun stuff that you want to do straight through your fingertips. So awesome.
And I think a big one that is really taking over, especially in the younger generation, is digital wallets.
Yes.
Let's talk about it, because I love a digital wallet.
Me too. I probably, my personal life outside of work, I like to go out, I like to go have fun, but I hate carrying my wallet. I always worry I'm going to lose it. I'm worried somebody's going to steal it. So I have all of my cards on my digital wallet. Obviously, I carry my license with me. as you should if you're driving.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you should have your license.
For sure. But your debit cards, credit cards, you can put all in your digital wallet and have access to it at your fingertips, and you can pay straight from your phone. So it's a great opportunity for people to have that Orlando Credit Union card on them at all times, and you have the peace of mind knowing that it's safe and secure in your phone. Because let's be real, our generation's glued to our phones, and I'm more likely to lose my wallet than my cell phone.
Yes,
and I will 100% own that.
I'm gonna admit it. That's me too. I definitely have my phone on my hip at all times. If it's not in my hand, it's in my pocket, and if it's not in my pocket, I'm freaking
you know where it
out.
is. Yeah, well, but you know where it is at all
exactly.
times. And if it's true. If I actually don't know where it is, I'm probably freaking out as well.
It's the Gen Z millennial mentality, but I think it's so important to have that access. However, we know obviously the security behind it, but I think the reason that so many people who might be a little bit older and older generations are a little bit wary is because they were trained, growing up to think anything online is a way for them to take my entire identity. So explain why that is simply not the case here.
I would love to. And I think, again, we're educators, right? So we have to know our audience. And we obviously at Orlando Credit Union, we will do right by our members by what they need. But it's our job to educate them on the future. And I think it all goes back to how we can have that experience be shown in the branches. So we have ability to show people what our digital platform looks like from an education standpoint when we're enrolling people. So we can give them that peace of mind knowing that, hey, this is actually really good for you. And yeah, it all pretty much just starts with education. And older people, it's, they have that check writing ability, right? And I love saying this because people kind of look at me with deer in headlights when I say a check's actually worse than online banking.
Really?
Right. So,
I didn't know that.
Because if you think about it, what's on your check? Your name, your address, your account number, your routing number, your check number, right? So when you think about all the pieces of information that's needed to take someone's identity, you're really just writing it on a piece of paper and sending it out the door. So when you're thinking about safety and security, you're better off using online banking, because online banking, we hide the first digits of your account number and only show the last four. On statements, when you look at it online, you can see your information there, but you have to log into the app and then agree to the terms and conditions. So everything's safe and secure that way. You can have the face authenticator, so you can have the ability to log in with just your face recognition. Passwords and usernames, you can change all of that with a touch of a button. So if you ever feel like somebody's gonna take your information, you can literally go in there in 5 seconds and change everything to be safe and secure again. With our fraud prevention team, we have such a great team in place at Orlando Credit Union that we are pretty much always aware of what transactions are normal for you. So if we ever feel like something's not up to speed with what you've always done, we're going to flag it and we're going to ask you to contact us, or we're going to send you a text, or we're going to reach out to you. And our card services department's so good about doing that too. So with our credit cards, debit cards, we're always looking at stuff like that.
And I think that's such an important thing to remember when you are, starting out. Maybe you're a little bit wary about using a digital wallet, or even the app. I know a lot of people get nervous about putting information on apps. When I first started using Venmo, my mom was like, you can't use Venmo, I'm scared. Like, it's just that mentality of I don't want to put my banking information out there, but it really is a secure option, especially within us.
Absolutely. And I just like to reiterate too that the check thing, it's becoming such an old way of banking. That's why you're seeing check costs increase, right? So when you're looking at people ordering checks, even from third parties, their prices are going up because people aren't doing it that much. And you can do all of the checks. If you want to pay bills, you can do that straight through online banking and through our bill pay center. And it's the same way as writing a check. The only difference is we'll send it for you, and we'll take care of all of that, worriness from you.
So I know you just mentioned, that is also an option for online banking. What else does Orlando Credit Union bring to the table that makes online banking such a great option?
We're very comparable to any institution, right? So like if you're thinking of like bigger institutions and you're like, well, what does a small credit union can do for me? Everything that they can do. So we can do bill pay, we can do account transfers, we can send money to other people, we can integrate, if you have more than one membership with us, because obviously credit unions are a little bit different than banks. We have memberships versus accounts.
Yeah.
So if you have more than one, we can link them all together. So you can have everything underneath one username platform, so you can see everything. If you have, if you're parents and you want to see what your kids are doing, we can work with you and kind of put those on your online banking platform, so that way you can kind of monitor that way. It really gives people the ability to see everything from a holistic point of view without having to look at statements coming through every month. If you are a statement reader, that's what I like to call people when they have statements sent, because I probably haven't looked at mine in years. You can pull them on online banking. You can have them printed right then and there. What's great about it is it saves all of them for, I think, the last 7 years. So you can go back in time and look at statements if you ever need to. It's great if you're looking at, purchasing a home. You can have everything at the touch of a button. So you can work with, our mortgage loan origination team and have everything at the touch of a button and send it to them. So yeah, it's pretty much 24/7 banking at your fingertips.
I think that's incredible, but I also think to bring it back to how you were saying, we offer everything that a large financial institution offers. I think what sets us apart even more so is that we have that connection with each individual member, because we are a smaller organization, so we're able to have that bandwidth to make those connections.
Yes.
And, if you're struggling with something online at a bigger bank, you might be on hold for a while and you might not be talking to someone who understands where you're coming from. But I think it's important to note that our credit union specifically works to build those connections.
Yes, we're all about relationships. Relationship banking is, I think, what definitely sets our institution apart from others. People don't feel like a number, they feel like part of the family.
Exactly.
And I have the ability to kind of see that every day when I go do branch visits. We have another regional manager, Jacqueline. We work really well together when we do visits. We kind of look at what exceptional experiences we're seeing, and it shows in our feedback that we get from our members to our branches. And, it's kind of a breath of fresh air for me, because I come from those bigger institutions that when we did see stuff like that, it was highly celebrated, because obviously it didn't come through that much.
Yeah.
Here, we obviously celebrate it just as much, but it comes through every single day, and it just shows just how much we care about our membership. So from our branches to our people, as we're not just here to, for business, we're here to help create relationships and maintain them, not only right now, but generations. We have so many people that have started banking with us 60, 70 years ago, now that they're kids bank here, their kids bank here. And
that's awesome.
We have managers that have been here for many years, I think 15, 16 years. And we attend services when people pass away. Like, we go above and beyond outside of, just what the typical banker does. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important to not only provide that connection, but also provide the newest products, which is exactly what we're doing when we bring in that digital banking. So thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Of course.
And to learn more about Orlando Credit Union's digital products, you can head to our website at orlandocreditunion.org. Until next time, we're investing in you. Orlando Credit Union is not responsible for damages that result from the use of our product or service data contained herein.